Welcome back to CBS News. Detroit at 4 today. We're speaking with one of the candidates running for Michigan's 11th Congressional District, Ethan Baker. He's the only Republican candidate in the race, while there are 4 Democratic candidates on your screen. Former Wayne County prosecutor Aisha Faruqi, who we'll be speaking with today at 6. State Senator Jeremy Moss, Waterford School District Board Member John Paul Torres, and engineer Don Uford. Baker, though, is the mayor for the city of Troy and has served for 4 years on city council. He joins us live. Thanks for your time this afternoon.
Rochelle, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you're the current mayor of Troy, as we mentioned. Did a little dive into your background and saw that it includes working closely with Ronald Reagan after his presidency. What can you tell me about that? That's definitely of note. And how do you think it prepares you potentially to work in the U.S. House?
Yeah, I think it's a perfect opportunity for me. So when I was 20 years old, I got an internship with President and Mrs. Reagan in their post-presidential office out in Southern California. Did that internship while I finished my poli-sci degree before I went to law school. And then they hired me, and I worked the last 4 years, or the next 4 years, which happened to be the last 4 years of the president's life. So I spent every day with President Reagan in his house, in his office, sitting and talking to him, Mrs. Reagan too, really understanding kind of how everything clicked in that era. And frankly, that's kind of how I've learned to do politics, to do leadership. I mean, I think there's something to be said about working together, communicating with people, trying to relate with people on a level that is very different than what we're seeing today. So it has prepared me really well to be the mayor for the past 7 years. I've had a great opportunity to spend time talking to people of all different stripes, of different thought beliefs, different political views. And you represent all of them when you're the mayor. So I have no problem doing that. And I hope to bring that kind of energy and that kind of understanding to Congress.
Let's elaborate on that. You just said very different from what we're seeing today. And I think we all know what you're talking about here. Something I saw on the homepage of your website is you talking about the divisiveness, that we're not cut out for this. We're not meant to live in this combative environment. You just mentioned to me during commercial break, your wife is a therapist. You are trying to bring some cohesiveness. Why is that so important to you? Why do you think that's what we need right now in this political climate?
That's exactly right. I'm glad you asked that question, because we, on a human level, are not doing well with this. We can't function like this as a society. We're not cut out as humans to constantly be fighting, to constantly be divided, to constantly be looking at each other as someone else, as opposite of us. And we have to do a better job of getting back to how we used to do government, how we used to do politics. We could disagree during the day. We may have very different views on how we look at the policy issues, but we have to do a better job listening to each other, relating to each other as human beings, so that we understand where we're coming from. If we can do that, we can actually solve the problems and the challenges we face in this country better.
Absolutely. If elected to Congress, what is one major policy goal you have?
Well, obviously, so I talk about just being more human so we can work together. But obviously, the people of the 11th Congressional District are highly focused on the economy, cost of living, affordability issues. Those are the things that really we're talking about in this 11th Congressional District. When I'm out in the neighborhoods talking to people, they're worried about how they're paying for things. The grocery store, I do about half the grocery shopping in my family. I've got a wife and 3 teenage kids who eat us out of house and home. But I see the difference in how much grocery prices have gone up. And it's not just eggs and milk and the normal things we talk about, but coffee and fresh fruits, and maybe not lettuce right now. That might not be the best thing to buy. But all of the things that we're spending more money on, we have to do something to address how we're going to do that. And you can do it in a couple of different ways. Certainly, we have to make sure we've stabilized the economy. But we have to talk about how we can make more money in this economy. One aspect of affordability and inflation that often gets lost is the fact that one way to combat inflation and to pay more for the things that you need to pay is to make more money and earn more. So we've done a poor job of keeping up with salaries and wages in this country, and that can be addressed in many different ways.
Another thing I want to address, you are a registered Republican, but you're running to fill Haley Stevens' seat. Do you think that district will be interested in voting in a Republican right now?
I do. I think the right kind of Republican, the right person is what really matters to the people of the 11th Congressional District. And I've talked to people, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, who say, you know what, Ethan, we like what you're talking about. We are tired of the division. We do want somebody who's going to listen and try to understand where we're coming from. And we see that you've done that as the mayor of Troy these past 7 years. And we have faith that you can do it. And I think that if people really look at the people who are running and they talk about the issues that matter to them, they're going to see that it's not going to really matter at the end of the day whether it's an R or a D behind the name. It's about the type of person they want to represent them in government. And I hear this also. We're going to have Republicans and Democrats no matter what. Don't we want the best Republicans and the best Democrats running and elected? And I think that's what's really important.
Final question for you. What does it mean for the city of Troy now that you're running for this seat?
Well, I love the city of Troy. I've loved being mayor. We're a purple city, and I've worked really hard to represent all different types of people. I'm 7 years in of an 8 years max that I could run and be mayor. So I think that it's going to be hard for me to leave as the mayor, frankly. I love it. It's where we've lived and we're raising our family. But cities are always best evolving with new leadership. That's part of the game and part of the process. And I, of course, as representative in Congress, I would represent Troy, and I still have my hand in there a little bit.
All right, you're in the home stretch of campaigning.
I am.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
I hope you're getting some sleep.
Well, I am. I'm doing my best I can. We all need it.